Yeah, that's the smell of either a demon or shit. Or probably both. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to 2020. It's the brand new start of films for this decade and also just this year. And today's review will be going over the Grudge remake for 2020. Now, here's the thing. I actually forgot totally that this movie was even happening until I went and saw Queen and Slim, and I finally got to see the trailer for this movie, and the trailer ain't half bad. I was like, whoa, we got some good cast in here. There's some good premise to this. Then you see the movie, and you're watching it, and yeah, I think I would have rather combed the demon's hair for hours on end than ever watch this movie again. Before we get any further into this review, guys, though, if you guys are new here, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, where I do tons of early movie reviews like this on a daily basis, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this film. Did you guys check it out? Are you going to skip it? Make sure to comment down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are on The Grudge. This is going to be a very interesting one, guys, and this is going to be a very exciting year. It is 2020, and I'm excited to be here talking movies, and I can't wait to talk them with you. Of course, The Grudge is about a house who is cursed by a vengeful ghost that dooms those who enter it with a violent death. Now, this movie stars Lin Shaye, John Chow, Betty Gilpin, and Tara Westwood. Again, great cast all in this part. And also, it's based off an original property that used to scare the living shit out of me. Now, when this got pushed back to January, I went and said, damn. Yeah, that's not a good sign. Then you finally see the trailer and you're like, the trailer ain't half bad. There's actually good purpose to this. I like how they're reimagining this. And then you see the movie and it's not good. You know, it's hard for me to actually sit here and say anything good about it because I don't actually have a positive for it. I guess the concept was cool, but the whole concept of this feels like they had multiple different stories that they could have taken with The Grudge, and they just decided to throw it all in one. This has to have the world record for the most flashbacks in a single movie. Like, the story structure in this movie is incomprehensible, and at times, not even confusing, just irritating. And I honestly want to preface this and say that all the actors in here do a fine job. Like, they're fine in the movie. It's not their fault, and I don't fault them for anything. I don't even think the dialogue was that bad. I mean, sometimes it's pretty bad, but I don't blame the actors at all for this movie. What I blame is the script and absolutely the direction. It actually feels like this movie was missing quite a lot. And for an hour and 33-minute movie, there were moments where I was like, what? Where does this go? What happens after that? You just skipped right over it? And I got myself a little bit confused. And even at times, even though the movie does finally start dialing into it, into this weird story structure that it has, it doesn't work. One of the things that definitely doesn't work for this is scares. I am one of the pickiest person when it comes to a horror film. I want a good story. I want a good scares in there. And this film provides none of that when it comes to a horror movie. The way that the scares build up are so typical, so obvious, and one of the most cliche things. The one cliche thing that didn't happen in this was a cat jumping out at me. And thank God that didn't happen, because I think that would have set me off to finally just leave the theater. At least when it comes to a Grudge movie, you're expecting some cool imagery with the demon that we know and love. Well, maybe not love, but at least know. But the demon's barely in here. And when it shows up, it's for a split second, and they don't ever take time to settle on the moment, settle on that panning shot, and move within it. The camera shots, the weird editing feels all weird, and it really feels like you are watching a direct-to-DVD horror film. But this is one of the most popular IPs, and I just don't know what they were doing. I like to equivalent this. When I saw the trailer, I thought it was cool. But when I saw it, I said, this looks like it's a different type of movie, but it's like the studio said, hey, that's a cool concept. But here, we have the property of The Grudge. Let's move it in there, and then we'll make more money. But in reality, today is people want original IP. People want original horror films, and they will show up if it is good. But let me tell you, this isn't good. So people aren't going to show up. I mean, people might because it has the name of The Grudge, but in the same sense, you're losing out on that market. And it just feels like it's a very cheap, garbage remake of a very popular movie franchise that many of us adore. Going back to how I was really anticipating that imagery, this movie has a weird filter and lens to it all. Whether it's in the flashback sequences to the now sequences, it's this weird flair that I could probably have filmed something on my iPhone and added it in and it would have looked the same. Before I give you guys my final thoughts on The Grudge, make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Did you guys like this film? Did you hate it? Let's discuss it down below. And again, understand film is subjective. If for some reason you adored this film, I'm happy for you. And of course, as well, make sure to hit that like and subscribe so you guys never miss out on videos like this on a daily basis. And of course, make sure to head over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early. And of course, a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. I almost walked out of this movie, and it takes a lot for me to walk out of a movie. I see tons of movies every year, and The Grudge happens to be one of the worst, not just one of the worst horror remakes I've ever seen, or one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen. It's absolutely one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. I love this IP. I love The Grudge, and it really used to scare the living shit out of me when I was younger, but this is not how you do a horror film. And again, no faults to the actors involved. If I was an actor and I got the script for The Grudge, I would just sign on and I wouldn't even read it. Because at that point, that's a popular IP, and for all you know, even if the movie isn't great, this could be the start of a great career. And again, everyone does a fine job in it. There are some cool, I guess, story elements in it, but none of it is cohesive. None of it works out. The horror elements are not there. They're totally bland. And absolutely, when I got to the ending of this movie, there was multiple moments when I went... I looked over at my friend and just started coughing and laughing and slapping my hand down, taking my glasses off, massaging my head, and just out of frustration going, what the is going on in this movie? That's what I kept saying to myself. It was like, take a shot for every time something stupid happens. And absolutely, literally the last 2 minutes of this movie is terrible. Like, the way they ended it, it just ended and me and my friend were like, okay, we're done. And we just got up and left. You knew it was going to happen at the end, but I was just sitting there in awe of, what? That's how we're going to end it? Dumb. Well, all that said, I'm going to give The Grudge remake an F. I haven't given it an F in almost a year and a half. That says a lot. So, yeah, The Grudge. It's a failure on every level, and it very much sucks because I do go into films wanting to like them, always with an open mind. I went into this one with a pretty open mind, even though it's a horror film opening up in January, and yeah, it wasn't... I can't recommend this one. So guys, make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Of course, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Hopefully, we get another great horror film later on this year. Sundance seems to be having a couple of them, and I'm going to be going there. So do make sure to look out for all those early movie reviews coming to this channel, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching this. And of course, until next time, stay classy.